Okay, this is Robert Davis again coming back at you. Um, this tutorial we're going to have some fun. It's going to be about databases, creating a program in Delphi and connecting that to a database. And so we'll just get started here. Let's go to Microsoft Access and we'll want to say blank database. And we're going to create. We need to be in design mode. Save the table. We'll just call this folks. And it starts out, it has the ID field, which is an auto number, which is a unique number for each record in the database. And it's also, you see here, it's the primary key for the database. So let's just get started. We'll say first name, short text is fine. M name, short text is fine. L name, and phone, short text is alright. And email, short text is alright. Okay, so we've created the folks table. And let's go ahead and save the design. Yes, we want to save the design changes. And we're going to close this. And come over and start Delphi. And what we're going to do here is create a new Windows VCL application in Delphi. Comes up with our main form. We're going to recaption it. Just call it folks. And immediately what we need to do is establish connectivity to the database. So we're going to go down here to DB components. They're right there. This will give our ADO connection, which will connect us to the database. We have to build a connection string with this little wizard here. So let's build it. We're going to use the Microsoft Jet 4.0 OLEDB provider. It's very common and can be used by most computers. Let's see, where'd our folks database go? Just a minute. What we're doing is going back to Access, reopening that database. It was named wrong, and we want the MDB format. It's the most common format in use today. These other ones are they're a little higher end, but this is perfect for what we're going to do. So let's do that, and we'll call this folks. And it's in the MDB format. So, and we'll go ahead and close that so we don't get a file that's already opened there. There we go, folks. Okay, take the username out. We don't need that. We don't want to have to be logging in. Okay, the connection succeeded. Okay. And then make sure that we don't get any login prompt. Turn that off. Turn that to false. Now let's see, can we connect? Yes, we have a connection. Good. Okay. Now, we need a query. You can do the same thing with the table as you can do with a query. It's just that a table is the raw database, and a query is the structured query language in action that actually requests all that information from a table. So let's give this, got to click on it. Let's give this a connection string. It's already established, ADO connection 1. And go down here and feed it the SQL strings that it needs. Yep. That's all we need there. And that's going to do our magic with SQL Server. Let's see, can we open it now? Yes, we can. Double click this and we'll get the fields editor. Right click on it and say add all fields. We don't need the ID field, so let's just delete that. That's taken care of by Access itself. And so yeah, we've got a good connection. We have phone and email. Okay, now we need to give the query a data source. So there we have that. And all you have to do on data source is assign it to the query, ADO query 1. Okay, let's apply some data controls. For simplicity, we're going to use a DB grid. Slide that up and over. And that's good. And we're going to need a DB navigator. That's good. For the DB navigator and a shift click on the DB grid, we just need to assign the data source to it, data source 1. And you see how it populates the field names. Let's go to the columns editor, which is the right click. Oh, let me see, wait a minute, double click. No. Oh, it's because I have both selected, I'm sorry. Columns editor, there we go. Right click columns editor. We'll say add all fields. And see, that's from the SQL query because it doesn't call in the ID field. Then shift click for this. What we want to do is put these at a more reasonable width. So we'll make this, let's see, 100. That's too big. Okay, that's fine. So we've got the data source. You can see that we've got our field names. So the database is connected. We're all set. Let's run this, see what we got. Okay, there's our little database application. And we got the field names that we need. Let's try adding a new record. put the dash in there. And email, I'm going to put in my own email here in case you've got questions you need to shoot to me. Okay, that's saved and posted to the record. Now, let's go ahead and close this. We need a standard T button component. There it is. There we go. That's nice and lined up. We'll give this a different caption. We'll call it quit, because that's exactly what we wanted to do, quit the application. Double click on it to get to the code behind, and we'll just put application terminate. Oop. Well, there we go. Okay, let's make sure that's working before we go any farther. Does it work? Yes, it works fine. Okay, now what we'll do, go back to design mode. We got everything we need on there. Let's do something fun. We're going to take this, select the form, and we don't want it to be sizable, so we'll give it a single border, and you see how the borders changed. And then down here on position, we don't want the default position. We want the desktop center. And then finally, on the form or anywhere in the project, you can go to options, and what we want is appearance. And we're going to scroll down here and pick one of my favorites, silver. It's very pleasant. We'll save that. Now let's see if all this stuff took. Run it. No errors. Yeah, there we go. It took. So, and you can see the form's not sizable. It's centered, and it has the silver styling for the whole application. So we can quit out of this. And the next thing we want to do is we'd like the data to create lists for us. So we're going to go down here to fast reports. We'll put a DB data set on there, and that's simple. All we need to do is assign it. The data set is ADO query 1, and then we'll get the report component. Double click on that, and this is simple enough. Double click. Here it comes. Only thing you need to do, don't let all the arrows and boxes and forms and all that stuff intimidate you. It's much simpler than it looks. Just assign it to the DB database data set, and there we're going to go File, New, and use the wizard. Double click on that. Fields, we're just going to say add all. Next. We don't need groups right now. We'll have a columnar layout, and a style we'll use soft gray because we've got the silver selected. Click Finish, Preview, which it does nothing yet because I need to deactivate and reactivate the form, and you see how the record shows up now. So when you're doing this kind of stuff, before you do any steps, make sure to refresh the query that pulls all the data from the table. Deactivate it and reactivate it. We'll tighten this up a little bit here, I hope. Yeah, there we go. Let's run that and see. We're doing all right still? Yeah, we are. Cool. Okay, let's go back to the report and see what we can see on preview. There's that. Preview. There we go. There's only one record in the database. There's only one record on the report. Let's give this a appropriate title. We're just going to say folks list. Okay. And we'll preview that again. There we go, folks list. Okay. Now, what we'd like to do is, I didn't mean to shut that off. Want to add some more records. So, you can click the add button, or you can tab or whatever. I'm going to add my lovely bride. I don't know if you know this, but all email addresses and all URLs that you type into your browser address bar are converted to lowercase anyway, so it doesn't help for capitalization. I'm going to put my brother-in-law. Ransom, and we'll say 555-7890 tab fictitious email at email.com, and one more, tiny boy toy Tim and we'll give him and we'll just say, nope, don't need that. Okay, that's enough for the time being. I'm sorry. We need another button. Just a standard T button. There we go. And I'm going to change the caption to folks list. Double click on this to get to the code behind that actually does the work. Come on, come on. There we go. Let's see, just to make sure, we're gonna reset the database so that it gets all the records. ADO query 1, close, ADO query 1, open, FRX report 1, show report, and we want true. Oh, okay. Let's see if that's got it working. Okay, let's look at this. Yes, there we go. All the records are showing. And I don't know if you noticed, but they're in alphabetical order like they should be. And they have all the fields except the ID field, which is maintained by Access, not by us. We don't need that. And it's got the silver styling. Okay. Okay, so let's add a few more records. We'll just make some stuff up. Let's see, one more. Put my sister in. Okay. Let's try the folks list and see if they all get on there. Yes, they sure did. That's great. All the records are on there. And my sister Nancy and Travis Tritt. So we've got our list. And I think we're about through here. This has been a tutorial on creating a database in Microsoft Access, saving that someplace that we can locate it, and then creating a new Windows VCL application, putting on DBGO data access components, and a couple data controls, the DB Grid and the DB Navigator. And then we created the list report for folks, and they all made it to the list. And that's one of the important things to remember, is that when you change anything about the database, close and reopen the query, the ADO query, so that all the records get displayed on the list. And there you have it. Simple as that. Next tutorial will probably go into a little bit of relational database. Access is also a very good relational database. And so we'll cover that next. Maybe look at how Access can be used to actually make an application. Okay, this is Robert Davis, and we'll see you next time. Bye.